Shanti. Once you develop trust in a person, and when that person breaks your trust, then it is going to be very difficult for you to trust in another person. How do you overcome that? So, this can happen to any person at any age, but mostly it starts in the romantic relationship. Though both men and women involved can really get hurt when their trust is broken, but still it is women that get affected to a larger extent. The main reason it hurts you really bad once somebody breaches your trust is mainly because you got emotionally attached too much. Obviously, there is not going to be any guarantee in any relationship to stay true to you throughout your lifetime. At least they will be dead sooner or later. If you are not going to face the breakup, how are you then going to face the deaths of your loved ones, like the death of your parents? So this breakup or the breach in trust actually sends you a signal to be prepared to face the next emotional damage, which is definitely bound to happen. When someone breaks your trust, it is very important to break all sorts of contacts with them, whether it is through social media or through phone. You have to block them and delete their number instantly. And they break your trust because of their own weakness. So it should not give you any reason to feel low self-esteem about yourself. Whether you are about to enter a relationship or you are already in a relationship, always take it with a pinch of salt. It is really not smart to enter into a new relationship while we do not know how to forget the old relationships we had from our birth, like the relationship with our parents, relationships with our siblings, and all other relatives. Believe it or not, all human relationships are perishable and also deceivable and changeable. The main goal of life is not to start a family. Trust me, it will happen on its own if you take care of your primary goal. The primary goal of life is to find what interests you most and to explore more and more possibilities in that field of interest. Only if you fail to do that, you will be attracted towards these worldly pleasures. But if you are smart enough to seek your area of interest, you will be surprised to find immense happiness in exploring that field of interest. To your surprise, as you get higher and higher in your field of interest, your partner will be following you along the way. You'll be really surprised by that, because that is the law of nature. If you don't have interest in anything in this world or worldly pleasures, you'll be surprised to find everything is coming after you. But if you show even the slightest desire on something, you'll be surprised to find that it starts moving away from you. And while taking decision about choosing your life partner, make sure you are not influenced by even a tiny bit of lust, because if you take decision under the influence of lust, it will definitely go wrong and cause many problems in the future. And that is the single most reason for majority of love breakups. It is very important to stay emotionally detached even after entering a relationship, because when you are emotionally attached to any relationship, you will definitely be taking wrong decisions, thereby committing sinful acts, which is the number one reason why all religions encourages you to stay detached from all human relationships. And by staying emotionally detached all the time, if by any chance the other person is going to cheat you in the future, you are not going to face any big problem, because you were not emotionally attached, so you wouldn't have this habit of playing those sweet memories of the past with the other person. Because pursuing your area of interest has always been the top priority over the other person involved in the relationship. Although emotionally attached to your passion of interest is better than getting emotionally attached to a girl or a guy, still getting emotionally attached to your passion is also not so good all the time, because at one point you will definitely have to face a time point where you can no longer pursue your goal due to your inability to work, due to aging, or some immediate unexpected accident, and so on. How do you get out of that too? So that's where karma yoga comes in, that is, being able to remember God while performing any action. How do you remember God? God resides in this golden red colored light world called Parandamam or Parlok or soul world. So this God is called Shiva by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is just one. And we souls reside in between the eyebrows, which is why Hindus apply tilak here. So we souls, before entering this body, resided along with God in this soul world. So we souls, when we first took birth in this world, the world was heaven for the first 2500 years. Then it slowly turned to hell. And this is a 5000-year time cycle. The first half of this cycle was heaven, and the next half is hell. And the good news is we are about to re-enter heaven, which means we are at the end of this hell. Just 100 years before the destruction of this world, God enters an old man's body and gives this teaching about heaven and hell. And while in heaven, we were absolutely free of all 5 vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego, which is the root cause of all suffering and pain. So in order to get rid of all the pain and suffering and to experience only happiness all the time, we need to consider ourselves to be the souls, because that's how we considered while we were in heaven. We considered ourselves to be the souls that operates this body. So we are not this body, we are the souls that operate this body. We were constantly conscious of this while we were in heaven. By the time we forget that we are souls, we enter hell, which means we are converting heaven into hell by performing wrong acts. That's how we start committing more and more sins, because of which we are facing more and more punishment in the form of diseases, natural calamities, and so on. So now God teaches us to become soul conscious again, but we do not have power. So to get power, we have to remember God, who is filled with this power. He doesn't take birth like us. He doesn't enter a mother's womb and take birth as a child. Just 100 years before the destruction of this world, he enters an old man's body directly and start giving this knowledge instantly. And God's knowledge is available absolutely free of cost in all Brahma Kumaris Rajyog meditation centers that spread across the globe. You can Google it yourself for the nearest address, and I will also be giving the links of the address of the Brahma Kumaris Center, and also the knowledge of God is called Murli, which is also available in several YouTube channels and websites. I will also be giving the links of them in the description below. So this Murli is available in all languages, so you can make use of it, because God is one and He comes only once, and the knowledge of God is given only once, and that time is now. So please make use of it. It is by keeping our mind busy in remembrance of God as a point of light. He lives in a golden red colored light world. So we have to remember God as a point of light as much as possible by considering ourselves to be these souls. So in addition, we also have to keep our mind busy with the knowledge points of God. So by keeping our mind busy in remembrance of God and in churning the knowledge of God while performing all day-to-day activities, you will not be emotionally attached to any work you do, to any relationship you are into. So that is the only safeguard for us to stay happy throughout our life. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching.